This is Cancer Conversations and Choices. And tonight we have a really great call for you. We're going to be talking about home care items and personal care items, just everyday items around the house and how they might be affecting your health. So we cannot wait to bring this information to you. This is a great discussion that we all love to have. And talk about quite a bit. So we can't wait to bring this information to you and discuss what we found. So we do have to do a disclaimer quick. Just to let you know that the information is in this podcast is for general information purposes only. It does not constitute the practice of medicine, nursing, or other professional healthcare services, including giving the medical advice. There's no relationship formed with us during this podcast. This information is used for educational purposes only. The content in the podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. And users should not disregard or delay in obtaining medical advice for medical conditions that you may have, and you should seek assistance of your healthcare professional for any conditions that you might have. If you do decide to take any action or inaction as a result of the content that you consume on this podcast, provided by the hosts, that is based solely on your decision, and Cancer Conversations and Choices podcast and the host cannot be held liable for any consequences of such action or inaction. Please consult your doctor or other healthcare professional if you have any other concerns regarding your health, and always seek advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare provider with any questions you have regarding a medical condition. If you think you have a medical emergency, call your physician or go to the emergency department or call 911 immediately. But we are going to get started with this topic. Oh, it's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites. This is actually one of the things that I attacked first when I was first diagnosed with cancer. I know you ladies probably did, and most other people is like, what's in our home? What is, maybe contributing to the imbalance in health? And man, I tell you, I went to my shower. I started grabbing my shampoos, reading backs of bottles, started looking up ingredients. So yeah, but I'll let Deb and Maya introduce themselves. Oh, I'm also Marinette Smith. I'm a registered nurse and a certified holistic cancer coach through beatcancer.org. So Maya and Deb will introduce themselves as well.
I'm Maya Sabanda. I am a holistic cancer coach and functional nutrition and lifestyle practitioner, also breast cancer and endometrial cancer survivor. So, Deb, if you go ahead.
Hi, everybody. My name is Deborah Herky-Morin, and I am a holistic cancer coach and also a functional nutrition lifestyle practitioner. I'm also a breast cancer survivor. And yeah, welcome. We got lots to talk about today.
Yeah, we are. We're going to try to touch the topics that.
And it's obsessive, Marinette, what you were saying.
Yeah.
I think we're stepping over. I can hardly see. Yeah, I was gonna say we have a lot to talk about today. There's so many topics, and Marinette, I think you touched on it right at first, that it almost becomes obsessive when you find out that you have that cancer diagnosis. You go through everything. Everything is just like, oh, can that touch me? Can it not touch me? What does this do? What is it made out of? You really start looking at life and the things around you. Anything from a bar of soap to, your car seat or anything like that you're sitting in. You look at it at a different lens.
Yeah, exactly. When people get diagnosed with cancer or any health condition, the first thing goes through their mind, what kind of food can I eat? How can I change my diet? But we're here to talk today. It's not only food. Yes, it is important in your life. It's one of the main foundation, but it's not everything. There's other things that you have to look into and see what you're surrounding yourself with. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about. What are those carcinogenic compounds that could interfere with the hormones or endocrine system or overall health? Whether it comes, we're going to start talking about hygiene products, soaps, the furniture, the things that we have in our household, and then food that we eat. And when it comes to babies food and everything else, like what exactly to look in those things to prevent as much as possible any endocrine disruptors entering your body, whether it's through the food or through the smell or through the touch, and very many different aspects. So, is there anything that you would like to start with to talk about, or? You're muted.
Okay, I'll unmute myself. So I think it'd probably be a good idea, probably to let people know like which chemicals or what we're talking about specifically, what ingredients we're talking about in the products.
Right. I don't know if we should start with the packaged food. Okay, let's start with the package, the food that packaged at the stores when you go, right, when you go to food section and you see something you like and what the ingredients in those foods are very disturbing because almost many conventional products, many, we're talking about 95, 96% conventional products contains preservatives, artificial dyes or colorings, and um, fillers that are basically not intended to be for human consumption at all. Some people, when they think, oh, okay, I'll do it just one time or two times, but without considering that one or two times, like from one sort, there's one or two times, like at home sitting on the sofa, you're breathing that the air, the gas, the formaldehyde gas that every sofa has. Every basically furniture, the presswood furniture has glues, like they glue together, they have it, the carpet has it. So when we put ourselves in that environment, we don't think like, what kind of exposures we're getting in. It's like a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there. It's like basically you're agreeing to put the poison in your body a little bit every single day and thinking that's okay, right?
But
That's
then it builds up, it starts building up. Our body is having a difficult time clearing it. It's not natural.
exactly. Like particularly when it comes to with formaldehydes, it's been used and it has been used for years, decades, to preserve dead bodies. And they put that formaldehyde in because it kills germs, viruses, bacteria, and everything. And they put that as a preservative in so many food supplies, and particularly when it comes to cosmetics and skincare products, and skin being our largest organ. We don't think like whatever we put to our skin, it goes directly to the bloodstream and directly to the liver. So liver gets affected time. And it affects our endocrine system. And endocrine system means all of our hormones get affected by it. And then young girls, when they reach their puberty, and they get early menstrual cycles, and they start breaking out this pimples or skin like blemishes and stuff. So they go to the doctor, and doctor would put them back on the birth control to balance their hormones because they get irregulated, menstrual cycles. And they go to the doctor for help, and the doctor just puts them on birth control, which also contains endocrine disruptors. So it's like going to get help from a poison exposure and getting additional poison into their system and into their body. And when they reach the age of 20 or 25, there goes infertility, there goes other, problems, breast lumps, or, ovarian cysts, PCOS, you name it. I mean, like we've been exposed so much that we never connect the dots. That could be one of the main reasons on the top of the diet that we live our life, being exposed to so many chemicals around us. Yeah.
And I think also too, I think most of us probably assume too that, the products that are sold in stores are safe, are safe for us, unless, obviously doing the research. And it's unfortunate that, that's far from the truth, that we're finding anymore, that there is a lot of stuff out there that is bad for us.
Yes. It's even difficult to go shopping, go to a department store, because there's so many things you just, now that we're aware of, and now that we know it, that just are not available to us really, that are safely to consume continuously.
Right.
Yeah.
One of them being, the many feminine hygiene products that are out there that contain toxic chemicals, or it is amazing and scary all at the same time.
Well, and one thing I do want to mention, there was a study done regarding the receipts, and people don't think about this. It's you just pick up your receipt, grab your receipt off the when you're done checking out, and you just grab it with your hands and don't think anything of it. And they actually found that there was BPA and BPS in those, and they can actually stay that those endocrine disruptors interfere and mimic those other estrogen, like estrogen, testosterone, or not testosterone, thyroid hormones. And they absorb through your skin and they can last there for almost like 2 hours. So like all those chemicals are just like floating around disrupting your endocrine system for 2 whole hours. And it's just the receipt.
I pulled up the common xenoestrogens. The xenoestrogens are compounds, a chemical compound that could mimic our estrogens in our body, and the way they react to our hormones, especially when it comes in female hormones, also male hormones. It's not just the female hormones. That the males could develop like prostate cancer, males could develop breast cancer, and other form of cancer too. So common some estrogens in it's been found in personal cares and beauty products. And to name a few, there are parabens and phthalates. So those are actually two. There's just recent study came up on those two compound that it's right here. I'm going to highlight those two. So those two recent studies had shown like when people stop consuming, particularly females who have a small lump in their breast, when they stop consuming this, I believe so for 28 days or a month, the breast lumps goes away or shrinks just by stop consuming. Wow. And there's and I believe in the chat I shared that study. It's in the chat. So if you guys want to take a picture of this, like for whoever are going to be watching this and listening, so if you would want to take a picture of this and just have it and keep in mind all this chemical compounds, phenol 3 or everything, trilocin affects female. It's in antibacterial soaps, toothpaste, deodorants. The male hormones get affected by this triclosan. So, and in plastic and packaging, that's another thing that we have to look into. What we're heating our food in, what food we're buying, what the packagings are, what the drinks we're drinking from, the bottles that we're drinking from, the plastic bottles, they contain high levels. Because when people buy a bottle of water, even though you go to the store and you grab them from the fridge, you don't know before that where they were. Were they exposed to the heat? Were they exposed to the sun? Were they sitting outside? Because they contain chemicals as is not because they add the chemicals in them, but because the process of manufacturing those plastic bottles, the little raisins, those plastic raisins, they have to use heat to expand them. And for those plastic not to shrink back, they have to add the water immediately, cold water. So, and that leaches, the chemicals, those BPAs into the water immediately. And there's a study was done in Europe, I believe, so in Germany, where it shows those plastic water bottles contain over 12,000 chemicals in them. It's from the manufacturer, by manufacturing them, not adding anything else. And we're not talking those plastic being exposed to the sun or to the heat by the time it reaches the store and it goes into those stores. So this is something that would probably I would stay away completely, and I do stay away from the plastic containers. So in food and environment, pesticides and herbicides are everywhere, as we know. The spray, and any spray, any disinfectant sprays, they contain those gases, formaldehyde. They have them everywhere, and they use them in daycare. They use them in schools. They use them everywhere as a disinfectant without, the thinking that the kids goes into the classrooms and they can inhale those. So from such a young age, the kids has been exposed to the chemicals that interfere with the hormones, and the girls are because they're having their cycles. I'm hearing this now. It's as early as the age of 8, and nowadays, and it's this is like, I don't know, for parents out there, like you have to be very wise to pay attention what exactly, your kids are being exposed to. And then the using conventional pads, hygiene pads or cycle pads that contain a lot of compounds, also chemical compounds. And I know this because when my daughter started her cycle, um, around age of 13, she started like luckily. So I must have been doing something good, I would say. So and she started, I didn't know anything about those feminine hygiene pads would contain any chemicals in them. And like 6, 7 months after she started it, she would have severe abdominal cramping. And I would think, oh my gosh, why it's not normal for a young girl her age to experience those pains, nausea, severe PMS, and and then my phone is going crazy here. I gotta turn it off. Yes, and then so when I wanted to know why she's experiencing such severe pains. Sometimes she would take like 2, 3 power naps like every 4 hours to get over some pain. And I was like, this is not normal for a girl of her age to go on. When we went to see the pediatrician, she said that she can put her on birth control pill. And of course,
Yeah.
we agree on that. And I just started doing research. And what I found, it just blew my mind away. Literally,
What'd you discover?
yeah, I mean, like it was the stuff that I found that those hygiene, the feminine pads, the conventional ones they contain, it just blew my mind. And it touches most sensitive area of our body and the skin. Um, and it absorbs everything because it's wet for hours, and it's absorbed through the skin, and it's trackless endocrine system. And it just blew my mind. I was so upset. I was so angry because why didn't I know any of this?
Mm-hmm.
I've been buying them for my child, and I didn't know any of this. I was so angry because how could they possibly use those chemicals in in the feminine hygiene pads when young girls use females uses them? So it made me really angry. So I just threw everything away and I went and I got organic,
Mhm.
I, organic pads. And when it comes to organic, many organic pads, they do contain titanium dioxide. And many people think, oh, there's no harm from that. There's actually harm from that too. That's also a chemical compound. And I did read about it, and it's from on PubMed that the small amount that is being used in those pads are not for human body. But when you
Mm-hmm.
expose yourself to those, a little, when we talk about a little, the amount. So it's like basically poisoning yourself a little every time. And it, and the PubMed and studies have been shown it's okay. That is okay. I would say that is not okay. So
Well, I think a lot of it, and I heard it today by another professional, is they say that it's okay, but it's like that moderation thing. Oh, it's okay in safe doses. Well, it's not being used in safe doses, and it's not just one thing that's being used in safe doses. It's like everything around us.
right.
So it just piles
And it's
on.
the continuous use, the
Yeah.
longevity of of your use of it compounds, and it gets more and more. You mind, I was going to ask you, can I have you bring up that slide again that you had that you shared earlier?
Yeah, definitely. Sorry about that. Hold on.
You mind, I was going to ask.
We have 21 views on the social media, by the way. I
Well, thank
believe
you,
so, yeah.
everybody.
Yeah. So which one are you talking about, Deb?
The one that showed the list of all the dioxins and the
Oh,
VOCs and the, yeah.
okay, let me share the screen
Okay.
and then
Just real quick, I wanted to go back and
okay, I'm gonna go through the slide. I have them open on my computer, but I don't know which one. So this one is where to put this
yeah,
so
it's
it
the
won't be
last.
okay. And then let me. No, I cannot. I gotta stop
Sorry.
share to be able to.
All right,
No,
we're
it's
testing
okay.
your
No,
technology skills.
let me.
Hey, that's my job. That's my
That
job.
is totally yours, not mine.
Yeah.
I'll mess
And
up all the technology till I figure it out.
I
and
have
then mine.
couple.
Just wait till you hear my next question I have for you.
This is gonna get good.
Well, well, while you're looking at that, one of the things that I just kind of wanted to touch on was the VOCs that are on there, and I wasn't quite sure what those were, and I had looked some of those up and everything. So a VOC is a volatile organic compound. That's what VOCs are, and they're found in scented products. So, for example, so VOC is like, for example, I'm going to read this: toluene and xylene. I'm probably totally not saying this correctly, but they're commonly found in fragranced menstrual products and have been associated with headaches, dizziness, hormone disruption, and cancer risks. Is it on there?
Deb, is that the one you're talking about?
No, it was the
No.
other one, but no, it was the other one
Okay. Let me.
that had like I think it was the 4 columns on it.
Oh, the 4 columns.
Yeah, the 4 columns
Is this
on
some?
there.
Is that this one? I have a couple. So this one is also interesting if you look at it. Let me move this here. Um,
Oh, the parabens, the lotions, deodorants, phthalates,
right.
fragrances, plastics, BPA's,
S-
plastic bottles, cans.
Right. So this is carcinogenic in the drug types. Like when I spoke about drugs, like when we go to the doctor and been put like you and me both step, and I don't know if Marianne did. We were put on HRTs. You know, the
Mhm.
tamoxifen and letrozole
Oh,
and
no.
after cancer. So when I look at it here, like letrozole, fertility, they called fertility drugs, but it was the estrogen inhibit drugs for
Mhm.
breast cancer and tamoxifen. I strongly believe, like from tamoxifen, that's what I got endometrial cancer from. You know, because I was 5 years on tamoxifen and I knew it could cause endometrial cancer. But when I talk about it with my doctor, he said, no, that's not the case, you know, but I believe that was a case.
But it was
So
a finding that it could be caused by that medication, but they
yeah,
still thought it
actually,
wasn't.
one of the side effects of tamoxifen is endometrial cancer.
Hmm.
And that's what, you know, that's what I was diagnosed being 5 years on tamoxifen. And then when I decided just, and they switched me to letrozole and I was on letrozole about 3 months. But then I when I learned about hormones, I was just, you know what, no, this is not a right way of treating your own body by putting additional toxins when it's already toxicated that created a cancer. You know, so I refused to take anything and I just went natural and I stopped learning about hormones. And that's where I got all this information, like all these endocrine disruptors that entering our body, how much they affect our hormones. And they're coming from everywhere, literally from every corner. You use skincare, it's there. You use food is in there, and as I said, hygiene pads, it's in there. You know, you go and you take cold or flu over counter medication, it's in there, it's everywhere. So that's why we are as people, as humans, if the companies and you know, FDA and CDC doesn't care about people, then we have to care about ourselves and our own health and care about what we're giving our babies and our children. So if that is not this one, Deb, let me get the.
No, it's a great,
I
I
don't.
mean, there's just so many issues that it causes. My big ones are a lot of it is like makeup. I mean, it's stuff that we're choosing to put on, our skin. And I mean, there's already been like a big uproar about what they were putting in cosmetics. Oh geez, I can't remember. It was it was probably about a decade ago.
Hmm.
But there's still stuff been like snuck through. And a lot of it is a lot of these chemicals. If you go and you look, so this is what I advise people to do. Go look at your favorite brand that you're using and look
Hmm.
at the ingredients in there and look up the ingredients. There's a site couple of sites you can go to on the internet. One is EWG, and I think another one's called like Think Dirty. There's another app called like Yucca, but you can go and you can check them, but go check out and see what you're using and what you're putting on your face. I had a lot of issues, like skin issues, and come to find out it was what I was using on my skin. There's certain, serums and stuff that have those endocrine disruptors in it. So if maybe even you're stubborn, struggling with issues like adult acne, cystic acne, those are all related to your hormones. So it could be what you're using on your face too.
Right. So I bet this one is Deborah that you were
That's
asking.
that's the one.
Okay, that's the one. Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I was talking, they were, this one doesn't have the VOCs on it, but the other one did. And I just wanted to, I had touched about that a little bit. The volatile organic compounds, that's what VOX or VOCs are when you see that and any sort of reading that you might do. So again, those are found in scented products. Another one, heavy metals, even in organic tampons, those are not considered safe either. Trace amounts of lead, cadmium, mercury, and arsenic have been found in those, and even in the organic brands. Um, then, despite being found in low levels, these neurotoxins can have a cumulative, like we talked earlier, a cumulative effect, damaging the nervous system or organs and increasing the cancer risk that we get exposed to from these toxins on a continuous basis. And what's crazy, and to know that women use, gosh, what is it, 11,000, 11,000. The average person uses 11,000 tampons in their lifetime. Prolonged exposure to
Wow.
potentially toxic ingredients. Um, Obviously raises some serious health concerns. And then when you start reading what all is included in there, it just, makes you want to go build that red tent and say, see ya in a week. I'm not gonna, but I just anymore. It's mind boggling, what is out there and what's going on. Yet, you think ingredient transparency is, it's basically non-existent to find these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We really
Um,
do have to become our best own, like our own best advocates, don't we? Really, for ourselves and for our families and our loved ones. We really do.
right.
We do. We do. Um, we definitely
Yeah.
do. And
Yeah.
uh, Marinette, you were talking about, other products, not just the feminine hygiene products also, but polyester clothing, shampoos
Oh,
and conditioners, pesticides
Right.
and produce, and plastics everywhere.
Right.
Like the shampoos and
Then,
conditioners.
oh, shampoos and
yeah.
conditioners, they're huge. I mean, a lot of people don't realize too, those synthetic shampoos and conditioners could actually be the reason that your hair is maybe not
Yeah.
staying in intact. So
Yeah.
definitely look into all of that.
Right. We have a
Right.
water that has tons of toxins in them. And then
Yes.
we use shampoos and conditioners and rinse it. And this is something a little, I put it together when it comes to formaldehydes. So it's a basically colorless, strong gas, smelling gas. It's very reactive and it causes a lot of health danger. It's here. So formaldehyde was recognized as a carcinogenic, I believe so in 1978. And then it was banned in many part of Europe in many products. But in United States, WHO had recognized it, I think in 2011, carcinogen. So it took our country to about more than 50 years to recognize as a carcinogenic
That is a
compound.
long time.
Yes, but so this is 2011. We're in 2025. We still have this compound we still have this in the ingredients of food and other in as I said, it's in cosmetics, it's in so many different things. So when are they going to stop putting this stuff that even founding this as being highly carcinogenic? But they're still using it's pressed wood furniture, carpets, it's right here, paints and glues, shampoos and conditioner, body wash and lotions, hair straightening products, and plus baby products. A lot of baby products contains this formaldehyde. So
Wow.
if we are not paying attention to the ingredients, so they're going to be continue putting these ingredients in the products, that we're going to continue buying them. So if we stop buying those products, then they're going to stop putting them. So it's not about what they are going to do. It's about how are we going to approach this, as people, as, the people who care about themselves and their family's health. We have to stop buying them. We have to stop using them. And then they're going to stop putting them in the food. Read the ingredients. There's a great apps out there that would show you which brand has a good, does not have any chemicals in them or very limited chemicals, not even very limited. I personally don't trust anything that I see out there anymore. That's why I make a lot of stuff myself. So,
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. A lot of us, we make our own. Eventually,
Yes.
that's what we go towards. Or some people are just really good at home and they're really crafty and good at stuff like yourself, Maya, and just
Yeah.
make it anyways.
Yeah.
And I just buy those products.
Yeah.
I was actually going to say there's a
buy
lot of
them
really
from you,
small
'cause-
businesses out there, like right now. There's a lot of people doing this because a lot
Yeah.
of awareness is starting to come about everything, all these things that are coming
Right.
up with what we're consuming. And so,
Right.
like, go support your local people. Go support the people that are in your life that are promoting the things that they're, making and selling that are healthier options for you. So anyways, there's my little plug.
Right.
But
Yeah, that is so true because, beside being crafty, it's like at some point of my life, I was forced to learn how to do those things because I didn't want to expose myself or expose my kids to all these toxins. When I was learning about them, it was blowing my mind. And I was thinking, we're thinking the diet is bad, but then we don't think everything that would surround us is also causing the damage to the body and causing a stress on our body and affects the endocrine system.
Yeah.
it's like you were saying, like, okay, so we wash our hair with those synthetic chemicals, and then we wash it and rinse it with the water that's not been filtered and has other stuff in it that can also interact with what you're washing your hair with. And then you're rinsing yourself off thinking you're clean.
Right.
Then you're going and putting on these other personal care items. So your body lotion, your face creams, then you're doing your hair and you have all the other stuff. So you're just pouring more stuff back on you. So it's
Right.
no wonder that we have a lot of these issues that are now up, high rates of
Right.
it that we did not see before, even like 10 years ago. And it's really because of the way things have just continued to keep going. I think at this point in time, there's no way that we could really get
Yeah.
away from it, but there's certainly ways that we can decrease our toxic load, which is super important. So there's just lots.
Yeah, as much as we can, and we can choose best out of worst products. And you have to really know where your products are coming from, especially when it comes to babies that I cannot. I'm going to share another screen here that I put together. This is something. If you could see, toxic ingredients found in baby diapers.
Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah,
This is interesting.
also, and it shows the risk. So all this, what we talked about, feminine hygiene products, they also are in the baby products, and they are all the names of the this is a known and already, known carcinogenic compounds in baby products.
So these have been found through science, through studies, which are very rigorous. They've been found that they are carcinogens.
This is all, Right, this is only part. This is only part. There's more to this, but this is the one that already has been shown as having a carcinogenic effect
So this is
on.
only part of it, not
This
the
is
rest
only
of it.
part of it. So imagine the baby was a wet diaper, having that diaper on 24/7 basically, and been exposed to all these compounds here that goes through the skin, penetrate through the skin into the blood, into the liver. And then the parents get surprised why the baby is having allergic reactions, why the baby is having eczema, why the baby is having um, at such a
All
young
that stuff.
age. Yeah,
Yeah.
when you look at here, health concern, carcinogenic, endocrine disruptor, immune toxicity,
Oh,
skin irritation, potential respiratory issues, the babies develop asthma. And we never question where that asthma is coming from. We just go to the doctor, your child have an asthma, here's the medication for it. That contain another carcinogenic compound. So we're just keep exposing ourselves and our kids to those,
Mhm.
carcinogenic compounds. Yeah. So, and for people who wants to take a image of the screen, there you go. It might be, and there's safe alternatives are here. They're available. Just do your homework. I know it's a little costly, but you don't save on your health, particularly on your child's health. This is baby's diapers, and I also have. Let me find that.
That's just unbelievable. I mean,
Yeah,
their poor little bodies are trying to develop anyways, and they have, the natural defenses that they're trying to create. And,
right,
they're trying to
right.
fight off viruses, bacteria, and then they have all of this other stuff added to
Mhm.
their poor little bodies. It's
Right,
just sad.
exactly. And that's another, and this is another article I came across that actually from today or yesterday. I'm on Dr. Mercola's newsletter, and I got this in the email. I'm like, oh, this is right on time. So baby formulas packed was added sugar.
Mm.
And this added sugar basically it's it comes to 60 grams of added sugar per day in the baby formula, instead of like the mother's milk does contain lactose as a, used for babies to grow as a source of energy. But for the parents who cannot breastfeed their babies and they go to baby formulas, so beside other chemicals that are in baby formulas like soy oil, hydrogenated oils, or other compounds, there's 60 grams of sugar. So basically from day one of their life, they've been exposed to such a nasty things. And it's like basically to distract with their endocrine system. Of course, again, it makes them gain weight very fast. And they get exposed to early onset of diabetes. The kids get
Oh.
exposed to that, and kids being overweight, a lot of a lot of other health conditions like heart conditions, development issues that have been exposed. The the worst part is based on FDA regulations, the companies don't have to mark down how much sugar they have in those formulas. They don't write the ingredients on the containers, and this is just
Mhm.
crazy. So, and that's another thing that I highly recommend going there and listening. There's a Dr. David Ludwig, an endocrinologist, a researcher from Boston Children's Hospital, who conducted some of the studies that you can find them out of 73 formulas available in US in 2022. Infants so the vast majority of them were for infants up to 12 months old that contain such a high levels of sugar. It says glucose sugar, little sugar, what was replaced instead of lactose, because mother's milk naturally, has a lactose.
Yeah,
So
it's just excessive. That sounds excessive. I mean,
yeah,
60 grams of sugar, that's a
right.
lot.
Yeah. It's yeah.
What are we
I mean,
doing to our kids? That it's affect their brain development. Down the road that there's anxiety, depression, and then we get surprised, like where our kids are getting the symptoms from or these conditions from. So
Right, right.
Yeah.
The other thing, sugars obviously, are the absolute worst. But also heavy metals. Heavy metals are being found in a lot of these infant formulas as well. And even though FDA will regulate the overall safety of baby formula, it doesn't require manufacturers to conduct routine heavy metal testing.
Right.
So it's kind of like, well, this is what we do, but we're not regulating them. There are no restrictions on that. So it really has to leave you wondering, how can you ensure that my baby's getting and consuming the safest product that's out there? And lead, arsenic, again, cadmium, mercury, and that can find their way through into our foods through soil, water, manufacturing processes. So it really is an all-encompassing and really
Well, if you kind of think about it, I mean, this, as you're talking, this is where my brain's going.
uh-huh.
So our bodies are amazing beings. They are so powerful and able to heal and create life. I mean, our bodies are able to create life. So it just gets me to thinking that we have these awesome, amazing bodies that are extremely powerful, and we are just constantly bombarding them with toxins and environmental, I mean, stress. And so it's just like outside stress constantly. And so it's no wonder that that our bodies have a difficult time trying to keep up. It reminds me of like a vehicle. If you don't take good care of your vehicle, you don't change the oil, you're going to continue to have problems. Your engine might eventually blow up. But
Right.
unlike a car, our bodies can heal themselves. It can heal themselves. We just have to remove those things. We have to remove the outside toxins, I guess, if you could say, or the outside unnatural substances from our daily living. And our bodies have miraculous abilities to be able to do some pretty
Right.
incredible things.
Right.
And I'm grinning over here because the one way to do that is through diet, lifestyle, and nutrition. And it always seems to come back to that, no matter what we're researching and looking at these things. It really comes down to that. So your diet is is selecting what you eat and how you eat. Your lifestyle is, okay, well, maybe I'll wear those, cotton underwear instead of those fancy synthetic ones that, and then lifestyle and nutrition, and
Exactly.
really
Yeah.
picking those best ingredients that you can. And and granted, when I just mentioned about soils and water and everything, is looking at those. I know that we're looking at starting getting our greenhouse going again and using organic soils, but really looking at how do we know it's really organic? But we can really go we can make ourselves kind of go a little bit crazy with that also, trying to think, is it safe? Is it going to be safe? Even though I went organic, you do the best you can. I mean, that's truly do the best you can. Anything you do is going to be better than not doing anything at all.
Exactly. Not stressing yourself that it's going to be like absolutely perfect and you're going to get it absolutely clean and everything is just letting that go. It's not going to be. You're right.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be.
But taking some action, and boy, I think if you do start that garden and you start eating that, you'll see a huge difference. Food tastes
don't you,
better
ladies?
when you're cultivating it yourself, and
and
it just does.
What's other thing is very frustrating when there's like many people are not aware that there are 260 names for sugar, for glucose out there. 260 names for glucose only. So it's like the companies cover themselves. Like people know high fructose corn syrup, they don't want to look for it. They look for that and they try to avoid that. They would look like maltodextrin, whatever the names are, but there's 260. Are you going to remember all those 260 names?
Well, no, and let me guess that they're going to do the same thing with everything that you just brought up in that little spreadsheet.
Right. And I'm sharing here in the chat. I don't know if the viewers could see this or not, but after we're done, we're gonna post this video on YouTube channel for people to see. And there are hidden names for formaldehydes, and those names are formalin, methanol, methylaldehyde, methylene oxide, oxymethylene. So it's very even hard to say that. I would say that the names that you cannot even
You can't
say it
pronounce it.
out loud, you cannot pronounce it.
Don't
Just
use it.
don't use it. Don't buy it. Don't go there, right? So companies do a lot of those hidden names, not just for glucose or formaldehyde. There are many chemicals, like even artificial coloring. I know for yellow, for example, they start using, I believe, so sunrise, something like, sunrise yellow. So you would look at it, you would read it, you would say, okay, sunrise yellow, probably some natural color, but they trick people into, like,
Oh,
misleading people, tricking people.
like
So
greenwashing.
exactly,
Greenwashing.
yeah.
Right?
So it's very, very, we have to be wise. If the companies they think they're wise, but we have to be wiser, to learn and to read. This information is available online. You just have to do your research. The way we know, the same way you can learn about it too.
Right.
And here in the chat, we did post, I mean, we put some links to some studies that are, we're talking about today, but there's hundreds of them out there. Hundreds.
So many. There's
Yes.
so many. There's so many.
Right.
Ask
Right.
questions, be curious, always,
Exactly.
if you're not sure, look it up. And if you're not happy with that, look it up again using another source, or, asking a professional as well. And, just always be curious.
Right.
Yep. I think that
Yeah.
that's the one things, I just think back to before I go pre-diagnosis, post-diagnosis. Because
Right.
pre-diagnosis, I was still living mostly, like not holistically. And so I think about it, and it was just the way the marketing goes. You're busy, you're young, your plate's full, you're a mom, you're trying to take care of your kids. Like it's just consumer, like it's not consumer, it's convenience. It's convenience. And so you don't pick up on those things, because, and then when they are using like the greenwash words, you are thinking you're doing better, but you're really not, because you're still being misdirected. So I think, before cancer, I didn't really pay attention to those things as much. Maybe part of it was I was still young. Post cancer, I did. And then I realized like how significant it is taking these things out of our daily living, like our households, whatever, even putting it all over our body, how much that puts us at an advantage to improve our health. Like that just became such a huge motivator for me to like be able to continue to keep spreading this information to people, because everybody needs to know about it. Like it's so simple. It's so simple that we can change. I know we get so used to our special cleaning products that we just get a hold of, and then the scents, the smells, you have to get used to like not having them. Once you don't have them around, you can smell how synthetic they smell. I used to suffer with migraines. I was taking Aimovig. I was taking 180 milligrams of Aimovig once a month, and I suffered with migraines for so long, all related to air fresheners. Air fresheners in my house. That was it.
That's it. Yeah. And the one more, the other thing that we want to touch, actually, I want to touch is clothing type. What kind of clothes do you wear? Synthetic, polyester clothing, cotton over, wool or linen. Those are also matters, because particularly, I don't want to name the brands, but the synthetic or polyester, especially exercise, like gym clothes that people wear because they look sexy. They go and they sweat in them. They release chemicals, and straight through the skin goes into the bloodstream. And not no one, the many people don't realize the effect from those clothing on the body. Plus they have negative energy that interfere with your own body's electrons and the energy. And then many people, after the exercise, they, instead of they feeling refreshed, they become like very, the mood goes down. Yeah, they become sluggish without realizing that the clothing could interfere with that, with their, overall feeling. So that is another part, like, we have to stop buying. Basically, the manufacturing in the world converted people's life into the plastic. Everything everywhere we look is plastic. The clothes, at the stores are plastic, people paying money for plastic, not for anything that could benefit them. It's just for plastic. So
And it harms us. It's
it
not
harms
helping
us.
us,
It
it's
harms
harming
us.
us.
Yeah, young girls, like the boys too, but mostly girls, because when they get their menstrual cycles, please, moms, don't take your kids to the doctor immediately and or they break out on their faces or on their skin, and just agree of putting them on birth control or any hormonal therapies, because once you do that, you basically break their biological function. That's their body's biological function, the way the body has to function on a monthly, every single month, because it has its own purpose going through, those 28, 20 day 6 cycles, and then by putting them on birth control at such a young age, 10, 11, 12, you do not realize like what damage that causes to their body. It's enormous, like 35% of cancer that related to those birth control pills or Depo-Provera shots. And Depo-Provera is nasty drug. And I have worked with clients who were on Depo-Provera shots for years, and the type of cancer they get is very harsh cancer. So please, like, dig into the problem, see where the problem is coming from first, eliminate those problems. If the child's condition is not going to improve, then you can go and talk to specialists. And I would go probably more to naturopathic doctor than just the family practitioner, so
I was just
yeah,
thinking as a collective, like I think the more, because I think one thing that people are reluctant to, I was sitting here thinking about it when you're explaining that, as a lot of these products and a lot of these going these directions are cheaper, it's more cost effective, it's more convenient. And so just being able to break that, if we as a collective were to be able to break that, if enough people came together to be able to break it, things that are healthier for us would be less expensive. They wouldn't cost as much because it would be more, there'd be more of it to be able to help bring that down. So yeah, I was just sitting here thinking about it because I was thinking about the menstrual products that you have to go and buy, and that just creates like even more, in the chain of things, and just immediately going and trying to find, even if it is organic products, because they are going to be lower in most of them will be lower in toxins, are going to be better, but not going even straight to like a tampon. Like that should be like, don't do that right away.
Nail polishes, but the most toxic thing that we have our kids been exposed to and have these electronics, the blue lights and electronics. Those are also carcinogenic, because like I don't remember where I read it, like scrolling through the social media before kids go to bed steals like 24 minutes of their lives. So 24 minutes of their sleep time, melatonin production in their life. So this is something also like we have to think about, like exposing them. I know at some point we cannot control our kids, but then bring the knowledge to them. My mom would always say, if you keep talking to your kids over and over, even though if they're ignoring you, after 100 words, they would remember 10 of them. After listening to 100 different words, they would remember at least 10. So you keep talking to them. You keep, you keep like
Is that why we have to repeat everything 1,500 times?
That makes a lot of sense now.
It is.
I was about to say, are those boys? Is that Tess?
Yeah. And when you think like a boys, girls,
my buddies.
I know when it comes to teenagers, they don't want to listen to you. They think like the friends are smarter than the parents are, but still, raising like knowledge and find a way to talk to your kids, find a way to bring the awareness to them before it's like they hit that, the condition where they have asthma, they have lupus, they have Lyme, they have whatever the health condition, and God forbid cancer, because I see more and more young people coming with cancer diagnosis, and it saddens me, pains me a lot.
It's increasing. It's scary. Increasing.
It's scary.
Well, and even some of the other health issues that they're just having that they've not really been seen before in younger age groups. I mean, it's not even what did they used to call diabetes? Adult onset diabetes was type
Adult
2, and now
onset
it's just
diabetes,
type 2 diabetes because there's so many children developing it too, which is also part of these
Yeah.
ingredients.
We're talking nowadays, kids getting diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, which never happened in the history of human being. We're talking about kids at the age of 4 or 5 getting colonoscopies. It never happened and then diabetes type 2, young kids are getting that. And we have to, okay, where are we going? What are we doing? What are we exposing our kids to?
Yeah.
At least where we grew up and I was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 44, but I see people in their 20s, in their teens getting diagnosed with cancer, with breast cancer, with ovarian cancer. And that blows my mind. What are we doing wrong here?
Yeah.
We're doing something wrong. We're doing not something wrong. We're doing a lot of things wrong.
Yeah. Unknowingly. That's the hardest part, is a
Unknowingly,
lot of
yes.
people, and I think that's the saddest part, is
Yes.
people are doing this unknowingly because they're
Yes.
under the assumption that these items are safe to use for their health and their family's health. So they're making those decisions. And, or they're just not aware. There's just that lack of education. And that's where we come in. A lot of the time is to be able to bring awareness. We found even through our own struggles and our own journeys that that's just something that was missing. So much of it is missing when we were looking for our answers. And so, yeah, just bringing about this education. So starting to talk about it amongst your friend groups, your family groups, as much as you can, even just bringing it up, because even that little bit of awareness just creates that ripple effect and we can make bigger changes.
Right. So we are going to be coming every week here on Tuesday evenings and talking on different topics and subjects. If you do have any topics that you'd like us to discuss, we are gladly will take that topic and do our legit homework and talk to you about it and bring you awareness. So please contact us through the Facebook or through the social media platforms. And we are also on beatcancer.org. If you would like to join us every Thursday, we do live Q&As. You're more than welcome to come to ask any questions like there. So, and that's our mission. We decided just to talk about the things that we learned, but we learned them hard way. And the reason we would like to bring the awareness so people won't go to that extent developing cancer in their body and they would prevent it beforehand. So it's not easy to go through cancer. So our mission is to prevent.
Yes.
Right.
And help as many as we can.
Our mission.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yes.
that's our mission.
Want to do.
Yeah.
All right, until next week, I'm going to stop the live stream.